Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast version 2.0, where we teach manual therapists a new treatment system that does focus on working smarter, not harder, which will allow you to cut your treatment times by at least 50%, but in most situations about 75 or 80%. So you can stay healthy, avoid burnout, and the best part is you can help a hell of a lot more people get out of pain. My name is Dr. Matt Maggio. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the show. Let's get right into it. I try to make these quick, give you some stuff, keep it under 15 minutes so you can get on with your day and get back to helping people and solving problems, keeping people the hell away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, which only make things worse. So in this episode, I want to cover what clients you say no to are more important than the ones you say yes to. My mentor, I've been in practice now going on like 13 years. I'm getting old. Told me early in my career that if you're for everybody, then you are for nobody. I talk about this all the time about don't be a jack of all trades and then you're a master of none. Trying to help every single person that walks in your door. Just, if they have a pulse, they walk in. This is a lot of what I saw when I was going through chiropractic school and started realizing a lot of it was nonsense. They'd say, hey, if anyone has a spine, then you can adjust them and they're a good client. You don't want to be for everybody because it's going to cause some issues down the road. Not going to have your success rate be where it needs to be. It's going to mess with your referrals. It's going to mess with you being frustrated. So in this episode, I want to share what we do in my own clinics and how we actually turn down a lot more people than we actually take on. And it puts us as like a true expert and just someone that people want to come see and pay a premium price for. So first off is how do I market and present my own clinics? I talk about this a lot, but just a quick reminder on striving to be a problem solver instead of a service provider. I think I have like 50 episodes going over why to do it, how we do it, niching out, solving specific problems. Go back and listen to all those because it's really what's going to put you on a different level where the price really doesn't matter. And also say being a true solutions provider is what I call recession proof, even though they might say, oh, we're not in a recession. We are in a recession. Things are going to be really bad. And as money gets tighter and tighter, people are going to start cutting things out. And if they look at your treatments and what you do as more of a luxury instead of something they actually need, it's going to be one of the first things that they cut out. When you're a true solutions provider, they're going to find a way to make it work because it is important. It's helping them function better, make more money, be happier, be a better spouse, be a better dad, be a better mom, all that kind of stuff. So you need to be something that is truly needed in a person's life. So what is my focus? I guess my identity or my brand. A big thing that I hate when people say, hey, what do you do for a living? Like, oh, well, I'm a massage therapist. Or they'll be like, oh yeah, I got this knot back here. You want to rub it? You're like, fuck you. That's annoying. But that's what happens when people talk to you. They inherently jump right to like, hey, what do you do for a living? And I always say, hey, great question. What I do is I'm a soft tissue injury physician. My specialty is in neck, shoulder, and sciatica injuries. And I'm an expert at diagnosing and treating scar tissue and reducing inflammation from injuries, which leads to a significant increase in overall functioning and long-lasting pain relief. No gimmicks, just results. You can tell I've practiced that a lot over the years. That's what's called your elevator pitch. And you really own that because people won't be like, oh, if I just said, oh, I'm just a chiropractor that does soft tissue work, be like, what the fuck is that? Be like, this is what I do. I'm a soft tissue injury physician. There goes my authority. I specialize in neck, shoulder, and sciatica issues. This is what I do. This is what I treat. This is how you know it works. And then I'm not full of shit and I provide results. So the next thing I do is I qualify what type of client I actually want to work with. For me, they got to have a neck, shoulder, sciatica, or sometimes I will look at a hip issue. Number two is they have to have been dealing with the problem for at least 6 months. And number three is they've had to seen at least 2 other providers, massage therapist, chiropractor, physical therapist, acupuncturist, orthopedic surgeon. So why do I do all this? So first is just that specialty, like neck, shoulder, sciatica, and hip. That's all I treat. I don't go after foot problems or knee problems or anything like that. I know how to treat them, but it really muddies my approach and where I am. I'm just really fucking good at those things. The next one has just been dealing with it for at least 6 months. I don't like acute injuries. Acute injuries suck because when people are injured and in pain and they just hurt themselves, they panic and they freak the fuck out and they want to get in right away. And a lot of times treating in that early part of the injury actually isn't counterproductive. You want the inflammation to kind of settle in, let some things kind of chill out for a little bit, then get in there as well. I want to see someone that's been active and been dealing with it for a while, because at the end of the day, they have to have a high pain level to pay the rates and the charges that I command in my office. And if they just hurt themselves, they're never going to realize how important you really are. And then the last one is just they've had to gone through a lot of other shit before they realize how good you really are or how good I really am, and gone to a bunch of lame dick other providers that aren't doing jack shit. Chiropractor that just cracks and pops, physical therapist that's just a glorified personal trainer, maybe a massage therapist that just beats the living shit out of them but doesn't do anything, an acupuncturist just that randomly puts needles everywhere and sees what the fuck happens, and then an ortho that just gives them some pain pills or tells them to take an anti-inflammatory or gets a shot, doesn't actually do anything. They're going to know that you are different. You're a specialist. You're on a different level than other people because they've been through some shit. So if they meet that above criteria, the specific area that I want to treat, 6 months, seeing at least 2 other providers, then they are qualified for what I call, what do I call it? I call it a no-charge injury consultation. Side note, just on the importance of an offer. Anytime you're making social media posts or you're reaching out to someone, you always want to have some type of offer, because if they don't have clear instructions of what to do, they don't know what it can be. So what we always offer in our clinic is a no-charge injury consultation, because it really helps them understand what we do, but they have to meet those criteria above. So why do I call it and no charge versus free? There's just something in the psychology of that. You can even say complimentary. I never say that word right. Complimentary. But I like to say no charge because for some reason I can't say that word and I sound like a bumbling idiot when I go through all that. That's why we call it a no charge injury consultation. Once they meet that criteria, I've qualified them from that. And basically what I say is, since what we do in our office is so unique and specialized, and we do have a high success rate of around 95%, but that's only because we properly screen any potential clients and really only take on those that we know we truly can help. So that's why we do those consultations. So basically what happens with that is I have them come in and I do a full and thorough history. I have 12 questions that I ask. I have all those questions in my free trainings and all the webinars out there as well about the 12 questions you must ask every single client before ever deciding if you want to treat them. So I've qualified them for that. And another thing that we do is we actually take a deposit to hold that no charge consultation. We used to just say, hey, come in. And, people just inherently wouldn't come in. I mean, you'd get like 50% that wouldn't show up because they don't have anything in there. So we have some language where like, hey, we're a busy clinic and we want to make sure you're serious too. So what we do is we just require a $50 deposit to make sure you're going to show up. Once you show up, we actually just give you that deposit right back, but just holds a spot and make sure, we're very busy. We want to make sure you're serious and our time is valuable just like yours. And we go through that as well. And that really helps to kind of weed out some of the, shittier clients that aren't going to stick to the process as much going forward. And you can also see if there's some money issues in there as well. If they think a $50 deposit to come in for a consultation is going to be a lot, they're going to also think when I'm charging like well over $1,000 for all their treatment up front, I'd rather get rid of those people earlier in the process and understand if money's going to be an issue. I'd rather have them just kind of go the fuck away. So what do I actually do during this no charge consultation? First is, like I said, I collect all my history data and I perform the consultation. I go through all that in my trainings and in my more in-depth CEU courses. We go through the full flow, how to interpret it, how to ask the questions, how to do it the right way so the client really understands that you know what you're doing and you're a true expert in your field. The next thing it does is it allows me to see any potential problems that the client might have, metabolic issues. They might be huge. Like, I'm not fat shaming or anything like that. I used to be fat myself. I'm not fat anymore. Maybe they just have some problems moving. Maybe they're really old. Maybe they smell like smoke. Maybe they're drinking a gallon of soda when they walk in, or maybe they're just batshit crazy. I have a whole webinar where I talk about the 4 components to the injury. It isn't just the tissue and the structure. It's their metabolic and it's their overall psychosocial as well. So then I can identify if this person's going to not do as well with my care, and I can politely decline them, because like I said before, if you're for everybody, then you're for nobody. Next thing that it does allow me to do is connect with them on an emotional level. Here's the thing. People buy off emotion and then they justify with logic. And a question that I always ask, and I have this in a former podcast that was one of my most popular ones, is the most important question you should ask your client every single time before ever treating them. And the question that I always ask is, how is this problem affecting your quality of life? And when I ask that, sometimes people get really sad, they get upset. they really open up, and it really helps me understand what's going on there and communicate with them that I can help and I can be a solution for their problem. Another thing it allows me to do is I slow down and I collect data so I can think critically. So many of you just want to jump right into treatment. You don't have any plan. You're fucking winging it. You're stuck. You're like, I don't know what's going on, but hey, get on the table. Let's go here and see what we can do, or fill out this 2-second intake form. But I'm just going to intuitively be able to figure out what's going on and figure out the problems. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. I'm so sick of that shit. Use your fucking brain and learn to think critically. And then you might say, well, I'm a massage therapist. I'm not allowed to diagnose due to my scope of practice. You still got to know what the fuck's going on. That's just some cop-out bullshit, baby back bullshit that I don't want to hear. You got to use your brain and think critically. And then the next thing it does is it shows the client that not only am I passionate about what I do, but I'm a true expert and I'm sharp as a tack. People are always judging you. Like, hey, does this person know what the fuck they're doing? Yeah, they do, because this person understands that I'm an expert in their problem. They've been dealing with it for a long time and they've seen other shit providers. So when they see me and they're like, holy shit, you take me through a full and thorough consultation and ask me questions about what's going on. You connect with me emotionally. You give a fuck about what's going on. You know what the fuck you're doing. And then lastly, what it does is it helps me explain the process about what we do and where we go. Because the idea here is once they do this, I want to qualify them for the next step in our process, which is a full functional evaluation that takes 30 to 45 minutes. And during that evaluation, we're looking at overall range of motion, quality of muscles and tissues, overall functioning, and their inflammation levels. It's very thorough, very in-depth. We do not do this on the same day. That's where you need to split it up. You're trying to do everything all at once. You need to break it down and have the consult for qualify them first, then the consult, then the exam, then the treatment plan. You're trying to do it all in once, and then you're all over the place and you wonder why you're not getting the results that you need. There have been times where I fucked this up really bad. When was it? A time when they weren't qualified and I still had them come in. I think they only been dealing with like the problem for like 2 months and they hadn't seen anyone else. I'm like, I'll still have them come in because they got referred in by somebody. I'll give them a chance. And all that happened there was they questioned everything and doubted everything I was saying. Honestly, people that have been dealing with a problem for a long time and seen their fair share of shitty providers can recognize something of excellence in me. And then the other thing that I did where I fucked up was I took them on as a client, even though they were a metabolic nightmare or maybe they were batshit crazy, and that just blew up in my face as well. So I've learned to be like, this is who I have to say no to. If I don't follow this, it comes back to fuck me on the back end, and then I don't learn. So learn from my mistakes and understand, qualify, follow the process, ask questions, use your fucking brain, and start thinking critically. So what happens when you get this right? Number one is they follow you as the leader and the expert, and they don't question everything they do. They don't come in with some bullshit fucking video from Instagram. We're like, oh, so-and-so showed me that if I just jam a lacrosse ball here, this is going to help. Get the fuck out of here. They know not to do that shit with me because they know I'm going to lose my shit and be like, no, that's fucking stupid. That isn't going to work. They don't do that shit with me. Or like, hey, what do you think of this supplement? Is it going to magically fix all my problems? No, get the fuck out of here. They don't do that because they understand that you don't want to fuck with me because I'm an expert and I'll set you in your place. Number two, money isn't an issue because they're certain that you can fix their problem. A lot of times when people blame money, they say got to talk to their partner or they don't have the time. What they're really saying is that they don't think that you can fix their problem. They are skeptical, but they don't want to come right out and say it. So they say it in a nice way, hey, I need more time to think about it. They don't need more time to think about it. They don't think that you can actually help. They think that you're kind of another one of those lame dick providers that haven't done anything. And lastly, you just get better quality patients who actually refer in better quality humans as well. It's amazing that people that are good quality, follow the process, tend to hang out with other good quality people. Shitty people hang out with shitty people that are cheap and just piss you off. So this really helps along that journey. So that's all I got for you guys. Just a couple recaps. Number one is just share the show with other people. We're getting downloads from all over the world. I'm glad I started doing this podcast again. If you haven't yet, go and download our no charge. See how I said no charge there? Because if I say free, you're not going to take it as serious. Our no charge training modules where we go in a lot to the idea of like the history taking, critical thinking. And I've said this before and I'm not going to shy away from it. It's way better than any paid fucking course you'll take out there. I put so much information out there because I want to help you succeed. Because if you succeed, we get more people to fuck away from pain pills, injections, and surgeries, which only make things worse. And if you do want to take it to the next level, first off, download the no charge training modules, then actually go through it. finish the courses. I'm amazed how many people like reach out and want to work with us. And we're like, hey, did you go through the training modules? No, I haven't done that yet. Well, that's why you're not fucking successful, because you don't figure anything out. You don't finish anything all the way through. Then you can take one of our immersive courses where you actually get to work directly with me and become so damn good that nobody can ignore you. Appreciate you guys listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening. If you want help on the path to being able to double your income, all while working 50% less and being taken seriously as a healthcare provider, I have some great resources for you. Number one, get access to our free training modules and introduction to my system, the Peak Method. Number two, subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Soft Tissue Revolution. Links to all of this can be found in the show notes. Lastly, if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star review and share it with others that you know it could help.